Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, 7 of Cups. Right. You are the kind of person that I feel like you're learning lately about the expression of emotions. Sometimes the 7 of Cups is about, negative emotions, things we don't like, things that we want to complain about. Okay? Now, it's kind of like, how do we say a negative thing in a positive way? How do we address something that we really don't like, that we have an aversion toward? How do we address something that may seem like toxic energy? It may seem like something we really want to get rid of in our life. We want to get away from it. How do we address that in a positive way? Okay. I think a lot of people, they complain about things they don't like. They point out things in life that are terrible, that they don't want, that they don't like, and they're kind of stuck in that. They keep identifying all of these things, and instead of getting rid of those negative things or those unwanted things or those toxic things, what are we doing? We're getting more of it because we keep thinking about it and feeling it, right? We're always addressing those feelings. Those are the feelings that we're always perceiving, right? I think you're understanding that we need to purify these emotions a little bit. And maybe some of the negative emotions that we feel, they don't always need to be expressed. I'm not in any way advocating that we don't share our feelings or that we suppress our emotions. But we have to be aware of what is the sort of predominant emotion that we're feeling and how is the mind focusing on that. See, the heart and the mind, they work together. So if we're perceiving a lot of 7 of Cups stuff, which is toxic, negative, icky, sticky stuff, right? If that's kind of the majority of what we're experiencing in life, we have to ask ourselves why that is. I'm not victim blaming. I'm not saying it's our fault. But I'm saying that we have to take some control over what we're experiencing in life, how we're experiencing life. Okay? If there's something going on right now that we really do need to get away from, let's get away from it. Complaining about it, right, is not going to help the situation. Let's speak in positive terms, right? That rather than lamenting this and railing against this, let's think in a positive way. Okay, I need to make these changes. I need to do X, Y, Z. Not saying, in other words, I don't want this. I'm going to try not to do this. I'm going to get away from this, right? Because all the subconscious hears is this, this, this. Instead, we say, I want to do that. I want to get closer to that. I want to go towards that thing. And then the unconscious, the heart, the mind, the spirit, the soul, start thinking this, 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 right? Or that, that, that. You see what I'm saying, right? I know it gets confusing. So instead of constantly reinforcing what we don't want, let's start focusing and reinforcing what we do want. It's all about the way we speak to ourselves. And let's see the next energy. I bet it'll be some air energy. Well, it's more cups. Okay. And more cups. And more cups. And the star. And the high priestess. So I'm very wrong here about the swords, right? We're not, and maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the idea here, is that we're not yet realizing how much we're actually dwelling on the negative things in life that we really don't want to experience. Why are we not thinking in a new way? And maybe that's kind of what these two, the star and the high priestess, are trying to lead us in a different direction. Okay, I got to point out that the Knight of Cups is one of your power cards, Cancer. That is a card that represents the Cancer energy in action. Okay, and this is really, I think, this is the Cancer tendency to get focused on an emotion and kind of to get stuck in it, right? Here's the swords. Three of Swords, Knight of Wands, the Art or Temperance card, and the Hierophant. The Hierophant. I think this is, this is a learning experience for us. I think there is a situation going on in your life that feels like a Seven of Cups. I think you're feeling a Seven of Cups right now. You're feeling this kind of, maybe we feel like we're stuck in the mud. Maybe we feel like life is kind of negative, and there's no way out of this. Okay. These two cards together are showing that you're getting yourself out of this storm. Okay. But the real lesson, I think, comes with the Three of Swords. How is this repeating itself? Is this a cycle that we're in? Okay? How are we, and again, I'm not victim blaming, but we end up making similar choices again and again and again. And this is the idea that we're not having a series of bad relationships. We're having one bad relationship that just is repeating itself over and over and over again. Three of Swords is confirming that. But this is the idea that, okay, first thing we have to do is get away from the toxic energy, get away from the negative energy, whatever it might be. Now, if this is an emotional energy, well, how do we get away from ourselves, right? We have to find a way to stabilize ourselves emotionally. And then we have a little bit of opportunity to see things as they are, to be objective, right? To try to take in this wisdom from the star that we have here and be led by the High Priestess toward a preferable future. Okay. So the Four of Cups is us getting out of the storm. We're sailing, we're in a storm, we're in a sailboat, we're in a storm. We're getting to a safe harbor. We're getting out of the storm. We're getting to a safe place. We're putting our anchor down. Okay, boat's not sinking, no storms. But we can't stay here forever. But this is a place where we need to rest, recuperate, and get our bearings again. All right. Let's select our mystery card before we get too deep into any of this. And this is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's take a look around. We've got some major. A lot of major arcana energy. This negative situation is going to change, I think, to a positive one. I think you're really going to love this. The High Priestess is showing you the way, right? You're following the High Priestess to your Empress life, to your best life, your paradise, your big rock candy mountain. Okay? But we have to let the star do its job to help us navigate. Okay? We have to navigate by starlight. And, we have our majors. We've got a little bit of fire. We've got quite a bit of water. A little bit of air. We don't have any earth energies, right? So the lack of earth energy is telling me that this is mostly a feeling perception. It may not have any correspondence to what is actually taking place in the world. If it does, it doesn't really matter what those circumstances are. What matters is that you're feeling stuck, you're feeling stagnant, you're feeling some sort of an uneasiness, a queasy. This is like we're seasick. What do you do in your seat? Well, you gotta get off the boat, right? You got to somehow stabilize. It's the motion that makes us kind of sick, right? So we've got to stabilize that. And once we stabilize that, then we can kind of figure out what's going on, figure out what kind of a loop we're in, and get the heck out of there. So the reality, it doesn't matter what the actual facts of the situation are. It doesn't matter what's actually happening in the real world, the manifested material world. What matters is how you feel about it. It's not working for you. You do not feel good. Okay? And what we have to do is, before we can feel great, We have to just sort of get to a baseline. We have to feel not terrible, okay? And that's the 4. Now, you've got a 3 of cups underneath you because you have this potential to feel really, really, really great, okay? To live a life that is inspiring, that's connected, that's intimate, that feels purpose-driven, that feels worthwhile, that feels, intimate. There's the potential for that in you. There is nothing wrong with you. Okay? But whatever those details are out in the world, which really don't matter, somehow it's incompatible with you. Something there, it's just not working. It's grown into a really sick kind of feeling. And once we recognize, okay, you know what? I don't feel good here. I need to go somewhere where I can recover from that, get back to baseline. And then I can start figuring out what I really want and how I really want to feel good. How this is going to be something. Now, this isn't just about what's pleasant and unpleasant. Okay? This is the potential for real happiness, real abundance, satisfaction, purpose, meaning, intimacy, connection, all these things. Okay? The Knight of Cups in the background, this is showing that you really do want a happy life. You want to feel good in life. Some people, well, maybe they just want to be miserable, right? No, not you. You have a purpose. You want things in life. You want to have a good life. You want to be connected. You want to feel healthy and vibrant. You want to feel inspired. You want to feel love. You want to give and receive love, right? And I think that whatever situation you're in now, you're giving it, maybe you're not receiving it. Or there's some sort of, there's some sort of incompatibility there. Maybe the love that you're sending out isn't really translating. The love that's being sent your way isn't really translating. And it just becomes a sort of toxic environment. It does not feel good. Okay. And I think the star is up here because the star is trying to show you this. The star is the first thing the star does, if we allow it, the starlight comes in. The divine consciousness, the spiritual light, the light of our higher awareness, whatever you want to call it, it enters into our souls, shows us what's going on here. It's showing you, hey, look, the situation, it's kind of like if things are dark, you can't really see what the ocean looks like. You shine a light on it and you see, oh, that's like yucky, swampy water. You don't want that. But if you're in the dark, you're not going to know the difference. It's like you get a glass of water. If it's dark, or if your eyes are closed, you can't see what's in the cup. You turn the light on, oh, wow, okay, I don't want to drink that. And that's what the star is doing. Once the light gets turned on, you can see this for what it really is. And you can identify that feeling, and you can really, you can see it. Okay. The second phase of the star energy shows you the path that you should be taking. It does not mean it's the easier path, does not mean that it's the path of feeling good or of pleasure. It may not be a pleasant path. In fact, we see with some cards on the path of the serpent that it might be a more challenging path, but it is one that is meant for you. And if you can see, if you turn the light on inside and you can acknowledge what you're feeling, right, then the star will show you. It's kind of, it almost like it happens at the same time, that the star will show you the path in front of you that you should be taking. Okay? And that just happens to be leading you to your best life. Spirit wants you to live a happy and healthy life. Spirit wants you to fulfill your potential and to have the sort of the reciprocating love experience with life that you want. Okay? And you have to be able to look toward the future and believe that it can happen for you. And Spirit will show you the way. I think you've always been a little bit psychic. I think you've always had a connection with a spiritual practice of some kind. Now's the time for that. Now's the time to get back into that so you can strengthen the bond you have with your spirit, with the universe, with the divine consciousness, God, Goddess, Deity, Guardian Angel, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, Universal Mind, Universal Energy, whatever you want to call it. But you have to believe that it's possible for you. You have to be able to see that future that feels happy and healthy and productive and meaningful and purpose-driven. And if you believe that it's possible for you, Spirit will show you the way. And it will not be an easy journey, okay? Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do. It's totally free, and it supports the channel. I appreciate it. The Three of Swords is the memory. It is us trying to come to an understanding of, why do I find myself in this situation all the time? Why do, why is this not the first time this has happened? Okay? And it's not, again, not victim blaming. We're not going to get angry at ourselves for, I did it again. Here I am in this situation one more time, right? Let's not do it that way. Let's just recognize that, look, this is a cycle that I keep repeating. And now I need to do something differently this time. We have to understand where we are and why we're here again. Without any kind of blame, without any kind of anger toward ourselves, just to be able to see that simple fact. And it's never easy to see that. Nobody wants the light to be turned on, you know? But we're sort of allowing that star card to illuminate what's going on in our lives so we can see it for what it is. And we can do the difficult work of moving forward. It's easy to get stuck in a loop. It's easy to get stuck in a Seven of Cups and not even realize we're there. Or to even feel like to kind of know we're stuck in a miserable situation, but there's nothing to do about it. There's no end in sight, right? Spirit showing you a different way. Yeah. And that way is through effort. Through putting yourself into the fire, to learning the lessons of this and going forward. Okay? If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. Okay? And now I don't know if this is a relationship. I don't know if this is a romantic thing. This could be a work thing. Right? It could be that you suddenly, you don't really believe in what you're doing anymore. Okay? If you believe that what you're doing is important, if you believe in yourself, then you're going to do better, you're going to learn faster, and you're going to face your challenges with a lot more confidence. Okay? Now, this might be something, this might even be a job that at one time you loved it, and now your Spirit's trying to show you that, hey, you know what, you're miserable. Right? This doesn't have to be a love relationship. This could be a friends, it could be friends, family, it could be a work situation, it could be your creative work, it could be your spiritual practice itself. It could be a general outlook on life itself. First step is to realize that we're not happy where we are, and to let that divine light in so that we can start following that star, navigating by that starlight. And we can take action. We can start doing something to change. It's time for some action here. Okay. What we're doing, of course, is going into a difficult situation. We're putting ourselves into a pressure cooker. That doesn't sound fun at all. But that's what the Art or Temperance card is. It's kind of saying, doing what is easy is not productive. Doing what is difficult is going to lead to growth. Okay? And that's why this is a pressure cooker. That's why this is in the sort of difficult position of the spread. Because it's the difficult thing, is to go knowingly into a challenge, into something that's going to be hard to do. And it's kind of like, we think of the future, well, if I get a different job, then what if I quit? Then I get a different job and I got to learn all over again. And what if it's further away? What if it doesn't pay as much? And, so we start kind of worrying about how difficult it's going to be to change our lives. And that usually keeps us stuck doing what we're doing, going to this miserable job or staying in this relationship where we're unhappy or, whatever it is. Because sometimes the idea of facing the challenging and uncertain future is just too much, right? Change isn't going to happen until the fear of staying the same, right, is greater than the fear of going into this pressure cooker. That this seems like the easier path sometimes, right? And when we get to that point, this is the only option. Do the difficult and challenging thing and change your life. Because the life that you have here with that Seven of Cups has become intolerable. Even though with the Four of Cups, sometimes we feel like, okay, it's a Seven of Cups. I know it is, but you know what? I'm going to try to make the best of it. I'm going to try just to grin and bear it and enjoy it. Now it looks fine. Now it looks great, right? But hiding under the surface is that toxic water. Once the light gets turned on, we see it for what it is. And that's the learning experience. The Hierophant is not a gentle energy by any means. It's giving us the tough lessons, okay? But there's a reason for it. This is the tough love of that, of a teacher that like wants us to succeed, but isn't going to give us the answers to the questions, going to make us work for it. Because we got to do the work. Otherwise, what's the point of being in school, If we're not actually learning anything and applying our knowledge and growing and adapting to this and evolving, why even bother, Let's look at our mystery card. Maybe it will be the Chariot. Maybe it will be a 9 or a 10 of Cups. Some very happy water, some clear, purified water energy. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. The Chariot, yes. That is your superpower card. The Chariot is the card that rules the sign of Cancer. You got both Cancer cards here. Now you better be believing in yourself. You better believe that you can get through this. Okay? This is the Chariot that's stuck in that mud. Just get the wheels turning. Don't overthink it. Right? Don't lament it. Don't blame yourself. Don't get angry. Just do. Do something. One foot in front of the other. Get the wheels moving. And yeah, going forward is going to be more difficult than staying still. Right? Obviously, staying still is kind of the easier thing. Takes less energy, right? Takes a lot of effort to get a car out of the mud. But you're getting to that point where staying where you are is way worse than any of the challenges you're going to face going forward. Okay? And sometimes we have to look at that. We have to project that energy into the future. If I stay where I'm at, what is the future for me and the people I love? If I change something, what's the worst that can happen? I think that's a much better prospect than the future if you do nothing. Okay. Awesome confirmation card. Spirit is on your side in this. You can change your life. All right. Now we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do a hexagram from the I Ching. We'll do some oracle cards. Click on the link in the corner. There's also a link down below. New readings for Cancer on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.